What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Goblin, and today I'm coming in with a story time for you guys about doing Xanax at school. But before diving into that, I'd like to mention a couple things. First off, I would like to sincerely apologize for missing yesterday's upload, and to make up for that, I'm doing a double upload today, so I hope you guys do enjoy that. I will probably also be doing a double upload tomorrow, so 4 videos in the span of 2 days sounds, like a good little compromise for me, so I wanted to apologize to you guys for missing yesterday's upload. First one I've missed in almost a month, and also I'd like to ask you guys to drop a like on this video if you guys do enjoy the commentary, and without further ado, let's dive into the story. So, Xanax at school. This was back in, I want to say it was November of 2015. It was either October or November. I know it was one of those 2 months because that's when my Xanax abuse really started picking up. But basically, on this day, I hit up one of my Xanax plugs and she told me that she'd give me a couple bars. I was like, all right, bet, good looks, meet me in the library. She was like, okay, I got you. So she meets me in the library, serves me like 2.5 ladders worth, I'm pretty sure, something around that. It's either 2 or 2.5. And, I was getting back into Xanax. I had a period where I wasn't using it and I was just starting to get back into it. So, I picked up the bars off of her and I went to class. And, everything was normal at first, but our teacher put on a movie. And our teacher was this old ass lady who was just blind as a fucking bat. Like, this woman always talked about how, I hear everything. I see everything. You can't avoid me. You can't sneak by me. You can't cheat on my test. This woman was she made Helen Keller look like 20/20 vision. Like, she made it look like Helen Keller could be a fucking Air Force pilot, dude. It was bad. So this woman, all right, sitting in the front of the classroom, I'm in the very back corner, but towards her, it's just, I'm pretty much like an aisle of desks across from her, I guess, if that's a good way to explain it. And she puts on the movie, turns up the volume. I'm like, all right, perfect. There's no volume, so she can't hear people around me, or the sound of someone snorting some shit. And I don't think she's going to look this direction because typically she was facing forwards or walking around the classroom. So what I did is I opened my notebook like I was taking notes like everybody else, and then I took the 2 bars out and I put them on my notebook. And it wasn't 2 ladders, it was like the little dolphins, which are 0.5s, and I don't remember if it was 5 or 6 of them. I don't know. It was 4 or 5 because I remember for a fact. Actually, no, I'm fucking tweaking. It was definitely more than that because I had 2 ladders worth. I know for a fact it was at least 2 ladders. So either way, do the fucking math. You know what I'm talking about. So, either way, crushed them all up and I chopped up a few lines on my desk. I think I had 4 lines chopped up, 3-4 lines because I did pretty fat ones. I don't really fuck the small lines. Just get it done. There's no point of doing smaller ones and putting your nose through more postponed pain. Just do it all at once. So chopped up my lines, had them on my desk, and what I did is I put the lines onto the notebook. I kind of used my debit card to chop them up and push them onto the notebook, and I put the notebook on the edge of the desk so they wouldn't just fall off or no powder would fall anywhere, because I had to make sure I left no evidence that this happened. And then the teacher got up from her little desk and started walking around the classroom. So I closed my notebook on the powder and it closed pretty much. It just flattened it out, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to chop those lines back up, but I don't really care. I didn't mind it. So I was kind of waiting for her to pass by my desk, and there's a dog barking in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but if you do, I apologize. But anyways, she was walking around all the aisles one by one, so I just waited for her because my aisle was the very furthest one, or the closest one to her desk, so it was typically the one that she hit last. So I waited for her to pass my aisle, sit back down at her desk, and her desk wasn't facing me, it was facing away from me. So it was a perfect opportunity, basically, to do these lines. So she sat back down, opened my notebook back up. At this point, the kid next to me noticed, and he was laughing his ass off. He was like, "You're a fucking animal, Nick. There's no way you're doing this." I'm like, "Watch me, motherfucker." So I chopped up the lines with my ID, busted them all, just rolled up a little single I had in my wallet, busted them all, 2 in the left nostril, 2 in the right nostril, and I was feeling fucking great pretty soon after that. I busted out those lines, sat through the rest of the movie, went to my second period class, and they hit me towards the middle of my second period class, because by the time I did them, it was already well over halfway through my first period class, and snorting it does make you hit faster, but the problem is that Xanax is not necessarily the best thing to snort. I don't remember the exact reasoning behind it. If I put some research into it, I probably would be able to tell you guys. But basically, if you're taking Xans, pop them. Don't snort them. There's I don't remember the reasoning behind it, but all I know is that you get less of it when you snort it. But either way, so snorted these Xans. Second period came fine throughout most of the class, and then about towards the end of it, I started feeling pretty barred out. I started to feel that real slow feeling come to me, that real slumped feeling, that real fucking brain dead, zombified, not knowing what's happening. But I was still able to handle myself because I'm pretty decent at handling myself off most drugs. So, I was going through class, and past third period, I fell asleep in basically every class of the day and had to be woken up by a textbook being dropped on me or something because I was out like a fucking rock. Third period, what was my third period? I'm pretty sure third period might have been my Spanish at that point in the year. Oh, no, actually, no. Third period was my lunch and second period was my Spanish. So I got done with my second period and third period was at like 9 a.m. I had an early-ass lunch and I fucking hated it. So I went to lunch this day and I remember all I ate was fucking chips. And I don't remember a ton about this day because I was barred the fuck out, but I do remember small specific details. I'm going to try to give you guys the most detailed story as I can recall, I guess you could say. So, I went to the lunchroom and I remember eating a fuck ton of chips and they had the little tiny like snack bags. So I got like 3 bags of Doritos and like a bag of fucking sweet and sour, or like the sour cream and fucking onion Lays or like whatever they're called. You guys know what I'm talking about. They're flame. They're fucking incredible. I know you know what I'm talking about, guys. So I got a bag of those and then I got 3 bags of Doritos or whatever. Paid for those. I think I got something to drink. I don't remember, but I know I had a soda, probably a Pepsi or a Mountain Dew. And I went and sat down at my table with my friends and they were like, "What the fuck are you off, bro?" And I was like, "I'm barred the fuck out." And they were like, "Oh, all right." So I just kind of sat there at lunch, eating my food. And one thing, when you're really barred out, I mean, at least it's for me, it's kind of like I don't really taste my food as much. And like, I don't really feel myself getting full because like, I don't really have much feeling in my body at that point. So like, when I'm eating, it's like I barely even realize I'm eating until I like chew it. Like it's almost as if it didn't happen. Yeah, at least that's for me. I don't know if you guys feel that, if you ever barred out, but personally I do. So, I was sitting there eating that, finished lunch, went on to the rest of my classes, and I slept through pretty much all these classes. And I got to my 6th period, slept through the 4th, no one said anything. Slept through the 5th, no one really said anything. One of my closest homies was in there. He knew I was barred the fuck out, so he was just laughing his ass off, and I just slept. And then 6th period came around, which was my AP government class. Now, this class was a pain in the ass. You have to do a lot of fucking work, a lot of studying, and it's a very, very fucking hard class. So I was sitting there in AP Gov, just minding my own business, teacher going through the slides. I think it was about like, we were doing a unit on like, I'm pretty sure it was like the like how a bill becomes a law, and like we were going in depth with like the different steps, like the joint committee, the fucking all the different committees and like what they do and like the seats and that, like all that stupid bullshit. And I slept through the class and I remember at one point being woken up right after I'd fallen asleep because she called my name, and I guess it woke me up because I wasn't really out yet. So I was sitting there just really barred out, like kind of slumped over looking at the smart board, trying to like figure out what in the fuck she was like teaching, because my mind was just not there. Like I was present in my seat, but I was barred the fuck out. And the kids around me knew it. It was an AP class. There were some smart kids. They knew I was off the drugs. They knew I was off some shit because not many kids in those advanced classes do drugs like that. So, they knew I was definitely off something. And I'm pretty sure the teacher did too, because I fell back asleep and I got woken up at the end of the period by the kid behind me. He was like nudging me really fucking hard. And he was like, "Hey, Nick, bro, class ended." And it was one of my homies. Thank God it wasn't like the school cop or something. So I was just like, "Oh, all right, dude, thanks." And the teacher, she was like, "Hey, can you wait a minute before you leave?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And she was like, "I don't want you sleeping in my class again. I was calling your name all period and you were not waking up." And I was like, "Oh fuck," because this is a class that I didn't really want to sleep through because it was pretty important. I ended up failing it, but that's not the point. And it was also a class where I liked the teacher, but she was really strict. But like I liked her, so I didn't want to like, when you have that real cool teacher you don't want to piss off, it's kind of that like relationship where it's like your mom and you like feel bad. It's the same fucking thing, It was like I felt kind of guilty for sleeping through a class because I like it. So, I got done with that class and I only had one more class left, which was gym. And by this point, I had 2 more classes left. I had gym and then I had my earth science class. And by this point, I wasn't really barred out. I was just super tired. So everything was pretty normal past this until 8th period came around. My last class, got through gym completely fine. And I was really tired. So I decided, fuck it, I'm sleeping through my last class, which was earth science. And I ended up sleeping past the bell. I woke up, we got out of school at like 2:25 and I woke up at like 2:33 and he was like, "Are you gonna get your bus?" And I was like, fuck. I was like, shit, because the bus was leaving in like 2 minutes. That was my only ride home. So I had to sprint my ass out to the bus. Luckily, I don't keep anything in my locker. I keep everything in my backpack because fuck a locker. So I just ran right out to my bus, hopped on, and went home. Thank God I got home safely. So hope you guys do enjoy. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. And also, I wanted to apologize once again for not uploading yesterday. Keep an eye out for today's second upload. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.